ありがとうございます。ランブル、オリアナ2位5番、最強チャンピオン3体バーンしていく BLG。そしてウェイボーもジャックス嫌がりましたか？ジャックス、ジャーバン、ラカンバン。
They ban out the Rumble. They know they don't want to play against that again. The Orianna is still banned, and the Nico taken off the table.
It's both the solo laners from game one.
何取りますかこれ？
Banned out, right? So those are going to be taken off the table. So it is going to be a very different look for Weibo.
カリスタ。
is up.
いやアッシュ。これ両方いけますか？アッシュ出すことで相手はカリスタ取れない。アッシュ ADC はカリスタのハードカウンターなので相手のカリスタを牽制するアッシュピックサポートにもやれると。アッシュファーストピックです。あれカリスタ嘘でしょ。カリスタはさすがに取りました。マジかマジか。
アッ
シュの W40% もスローあるの。カリスタ取りました。アッシュ対カリスタはカリスタが何もできないんですよ。射程でも負けてるしスロー効果でオートアタックが出ないカリスタは。アッシュのスローでいじめられる。やれるのかちょっと。アッシュサポートですこれ。バルス ADC のアッシュサポート。どっちにしろですね。なんだこれこれカリスタサポートです。なんですかこれ。そしてカリスタのカウンターのコピーも取れてます。
No problem, no problem. Well, once more, there is blood in the water in bottom lane. This is going to be a slugfest, I'm guessing, yet again.
I mean, I'm really interested because you're pairing the Caitlyn, who is a really strong laner, and it's probably going to be double Halo Blades on both sides.
アッシュの W は 20% だけど、クリティカル 100% で2倍の 40% になると。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
How are you going to be playing out the 5v5s? Because Kalista kind of just wants to hit frontline and kite back and stack up spears and be able to, play in that style, like hit these melee champions that are kind of easy to get up onto. But when you're playing against Ashe Varus, you're trying to walk towards them in a 5v5. There's Ashe ult, there's Varus ult, there's Varus slow, there's Ashe volley, and they outrange you.
And then there's a Poppy when you finally get close. It's like, what are you supposed to do? So I do agree.
It's
going to be a very, very difficult game to play with
this. ミッドへのチャンピオンがどんどんなくなっている。
BLG are trying to minimize the damage against this Kalista here with things like the Talia taken away and the Nazir as well.
I mean, it's so interesting because I don't know what you were expecting, but I was thinking
チャンピオンにスキルヒットするとクリティカル扱いになって 40% スローになる。なるほど。ちょっとアッシュの勉強また必要です僕。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
does expose you to the ganks. Of course, you can have Weiwei there to try to
そしてミッドレーナー全部いなくなったのでシンドラが出るかと思いきやエートロックス先出しです BLG カサンテが相手はいる。今のメタで出てきそうなトップレーンカサンテくらい他に何かいるか。そしてシンドラグレーブス
It's Poppy top. I actually really like this.
トップトッキーなのかな。
into the Aatrox, and if you play this well, you can actually win a lot of early lanes as the Poppy, and then you have really great playmaking. And when you're looking at who would ever attack you, it's a Vi and it's Aatrox. It's double physical damage up on that top side. You can stack the armor. It's also double AD carry. By the way, if you look at Colin, Poppy's a new advantage this game. Like straight up, you are just not.
そしてシンドラに対してアカリいましたねこのチャンピオン。
Weibo slammed them in draft. I'm gonna be interested to see how this works out, but if Yagao does not go
ケイトリンサポートなのか。
absolutely crazy, it's like
演出でケイトリンサポートらしいです。
I've cast the LPL for 3 years. I couldn't really tell
何が起こっているんだこれ。
I've seen play Akali. He has 4 total games in Akali over his entire career. So
is it Grace top?
That appears like it might be the case, my
ま
friends.
あ射程で上回ってますね。ケイトリンはアッシュの。
this is obviously
ケイトリンの AA の射程は650、アッシュは600。
but like it is
バルスが
Chinese
575。
solo queue is huge, both in mid and top. Like you play a ton of this Graves, you go for this
これ
double life
アッ
steal
シュ
build,
サポートの
like TT and even the Immortal Shield bow, and it's nigh on impossible to push into
アッ
lane.
シュサポートの
There was for a while a lot of people were
回
playing
答が
also these
ケイトリンサポートということなんですが、見せてもらいましょう。
or if it's going to be TP, but this is interesting. Not what I was expecting. I thought the Poppy top would have been pretty smart because you get the economy on the Poppy. Poppy's going to be really hard to kill even if it's in the jungle, but I just think having a super strong frontliner, you know, with that up in the top lane would have made a lot of sense. But this is going to be interesting to see how this does work out. Very unexpected picks. The tournament is taking quite a turn away from where we started, right? It's been all about range supports in bot lane. Now it's a double 80 carry stuff. We have 4 Halo Blades 80 carries that are just going to be autoing each other in the bot lane. And we have Graves top, meanwhile, in the top lane.
This is just a time machine. We're already going back to
ソ
spring
ロ
where
級
we
だ
had
と
the
強く
Varus
な
and
い
the
とは思
Caitlyn's
うんで
and
す
the
けどね。
Ashes in the bot lane. Then we're going to step back to
マックスマンサポー
2021 with
ト。
the Graves top lane coming through. We're going to go back to Misfortune Zyra in like 2 games
プ
time.
ロシーンだと出てき
I
ま
can't
し
wait
た。
for the Zyra Ash later on today. Yeah, exactly. Game 5. Well, that's what comes out.
All right, let's get into it. Summoner's Rift for game number 3 here in the series. A reminder as we kick things off, connect your League of Legends account with Prime Gaming to grab the
お互いに
exclusive
ロングソードとポーション
from
3個スタート。
and enemies. Weibo now
お
moving to
トップ
defensive mode.
グレーブスのジャングルポッピーでした。
Full-on invade coming out from BLG, but they do throw down the ward on the red so they can have knowledge of when
エ
that
イトロッ
started.
クス対グレーブス。
Gonna be able to try to track
グレーブスやれるのかこれ。
And one thing I will say,
ちょっと
to kind
ザ
of
シャ
talk
イ
a
先生
little
に
bit
見せて
about
もらお
maybe
う
the。thought process here from the
やり
shy
方を。
is when you have a bot lane that is this explosive, right? Your bot lane is going to be pushing. Kalista,
おいやっぱりザシャイさんは詰め替えポーション買ってますね。ゴールド効率いいですからね、詰め替えポーションは。
and to be basically crying for the jungler. And then on the top side, you're going to have a ranged top laner that if you can win that 1v1 is going to be in a great spot up there to be able to bully Bin and potentially not get attacked at all by Shun if he has to be bot side.
Well, that's the thing. Crisp is really good against both of the AD carries on the opposite side. The auto attack slows make it very difficult for Kalista off top right. You outrange the Caitlyn with your own slow, and then you're able to trade auto attacks against her as well. So
これは縦割りですか。ポッピーがボットサイド。
All right, we had a late invade into the
Baila.
bot side jungle coming out from
Top
Weibo
side.
here as the Poppy is going to start up at the enemy wolf
いや
camp.
これはポッピーがボットサイドにいるウェイボーの方が良さそうに見えますよ。ボットレーン一番重要ですから。
Yeah, I think he's just going to do 3 camps and dive bot, and they're going to try to stack the wave and push.
He got
And this is,
Poppy.
I mean, this is the
こ
Weibo
のポッ
classic,
ピー
right?
フラッシュで
And at
壁
the
越
same
え
time,
て
Shin should know this, but if he clears
ダンクあり
the
ます。
bot, then he's not getting camps, right? So he has to either make the decision: do I
こ
go
の
cross
ボッ
path
ト
and invade the enemy blue and try to
レ
get those
レッド
camps,
サイド
or
の
do I
ボ
have
ッ
to
ト
go
の
bot to protect? And if you do that,
タワー近く
there's
の
no
壁を
camps
フラッシュで
for
越
you
え
to
てダン
farm.
クする
So
の
Weiwei
ポ
is
ッピー
just
すごい
naturally
強い
gonna
ん
be
で
able to
すよ。
get ahead because even if he gets dissuaded there,
ヘク
he
ス
can
フ
go
ラッシュ
back
も持っ
inside
てる
the
から
farm it up, and now Shun has been
フラッシュな
spotted,
くても
and he's
無
gonna
限
get
に
the
ダ
bad
ンクで
news
き
that
る。
his blue buff is already gone.
This is the extra control that the Ashe offers you again, even this early on in
グロン
the
プ
game.
残
It's
し
so
て
obnoxious as a
自分
jungler.
のジャングル
Have that
守りに
hawk
行き
shot
ます。
tracking you. Shun now moving into the bot side river. Weiwei has made it back over to his own half of the map. He didn't do the full clear of that bottom side enemy jungle, leaving the Gromp behind as Shun now going to move up in here. See that at least there's still one camp to farm.
I think Shun was thinking that maybe Weiwei was in that bot side brush and was going to walk up, and I think that's why he's waiting in Pixel, because it's obviously much too early for Scuttle Crab. So I think he's thinking, hey, maybe he's still over here and he'll actually face check me. And he had a ward. They had a
ま
defensive
あ、カ
ward
リ
on
は
the
序盤
Gromp,
苦
so
し
he
い
knew
で
he
す
hadn't
ね。
taken that, so he knew
息
that
継ぎ
Weiwei
と
would
フリ
be
ート
level
フッ
2,
トワー
he
ク
would
と
have
ド
to
ラン
level
シール
up
ド
in,
で
so I
どう
think
にか
that's
ファ
why
ー
he
ム
spent
す
the
ると
time there. But unfortunately for him, not able to get it.
ちょっ
and
と
Yagao
削られ
likely not going to get
削られ
solo
てる
killed,
か
but
ちょ
is
っと
being pushed back pretty heavily in this
ちょっ
matchup.
と
I
苦
was
しい
gonna
か
say, like for Yago, I think of him for like his Zoes, his Syndras, this kind of stuff. He's not a big Akali player, and I'm kind of
あ
surprised.
かりの体力自動回復の数値はとても高いので
And I mean, Yago, he's just going to continue to get bullied. The
こ
more
こから
and
ど
more
う
he
にか
falls
変え
behind.
られるか。
It's been a series of firsts, though, no? You know, we've got the
true.
Belveth coming out. Now we're getting all this shenanigans down in the bot lane. So it is really a different style of game. Weiwei is here, and Shun has been spotted.
いや、ケイトリンサポート押し込んでます、レーンを。
As Elkin On do have the push here in the bottom lane, keeping the Varus Ashe back a little bit. Wei coming up towards that tri-brush here.
お互いジャングラーのボットを見に行ってます。
On where the Weibo jungler might be.
Nice pathing here from Wei though to keep his bot lane safe. He can't go for this though.
Well,
gonna just
トップにプレッシャーをかけて味方のレーナーを守っていく。
Still though, it's kind of them poking Wei away from this, and now they continue to keep this pressure on bot side. So with Wei taking that step forward, he's actually causing a bit of issues. And
いや、ずーっとバイが守ってますよ。カリスタ・ケイトリンを。それだけこのボットの勝敗が重要です。この2対2。ケイトリンシール使いました。
He gets chunked down, but they can just push this in and then base. And yeah, he did go longsword 3-pot, but so did Light. And Light is out of potions, and he's down over 10 CS. We'll see how much he can actually pick up here, but bot lane definitely not going the way that I expected it to go. And Elk playing it out really, really well.
Yeah, I really did think that with the extra range advantage that you have as Chris, you'd be able to push back a little bit harder, but On just been able to clear out the waves alongside Elk really effectively has made it super tough.
ドラゴンが湧いた瞬間触りに行く。
And obviously we can't discount the power of a Caitlyn this early on. You have that hail of blades. If you're hitting a Q, you're stepping forward, getting those 3 autos. Caitlyn does have that long range.
いや、ボットレーン有利取れてるかな、こういうことができますね。
You can get pushed down on bot side, immediately kill that dragon on spawn, which
ボッ
they
トの
are
主
going to
導
be
権を
able to
生
do.
かして、
This
ドラ
really
ゴン
does
1回
put
目
you
ゲッ
off
ト
to
で
the
す、
races. So
BLG。
difficult to contest Kalista around these early dragons. Sure, Weiwei's going to take some camps back on the top side, but BLG already stacking them up.
I'd rather have the early dragon than an early extra chicken camp, so BLG will be content about that one. Up there in the top lane, you can already see a farm advantage for the Shy. The Graves was the counter pick into the Aatrox for this one, and it's been rough laning phases for Bin so far in the first 2 games.
It's really tough into these range matchups with the Shy.
Bin's going in.
あるのかこれ、うますぎる。
Q2, the Shy.
サシャうますぎるけど学ばない。
That smoke screen was so good. So it looks a little bit silly, but in that position, he gets blinded, and you can't go for the Q3 flash, which I think he might have in another situation. But with that smoke screen down, you just end up looking silly.
Yeah, and I mean, look, the Shy is no stranger to pulling out these weird picks.
グレイブス対エイトロックス、簡単なマッチアップではないと思うんですよ。グレイブスのブリンクよりエイトロックスのスキルのクールダウンの方が圧倒的に短いですから、歩いて全部避けないといけない。
And again, it just kind of makes a lot of sense the more you think about it. You're going to play a ranged top laner because the enemy jungler can't be everywhere. You know, if you're thinking that your jungler is going to be down on that bot side, the enemy jungler is going to be down on that bot side, you have a range in a melee matchup where you're not going to be getting ganked, where you're just going to be constantly pushing in and trying to keep that pressure rolling here.
またザシャイが有利取ってますよ。
So is paying respect over to the damage.
CS さん20近いです。
Also can give it a lot of long range burst with that ultimate as well, alongside like Xiaohu setting up, or if you get that pick from Crisp. So I think for Weibo, like leaning in towards the hey, we're gonna try and use some advantages to get fish for picks is going to be the way forward.
そしてトップが負けてる代わりにボットが有利を取っていく BLG。
hovering down here again to try and get some sort of answer for Crisp and Light, but at the moment Elk and On are destroying bot lane.
Yeah, and Elk is foregoing the early tier 2 boots that you mostly see people go, and he's just rushing straight for that Bork. So wants to get that completed as soon as possible. The sustain is going to really help to shrug off a lot of this poke that is being put down. And you can see Wei just can't really find an entrance into his bot.
払って妹で挑発していく。
I think Elk and On were one of 2, Ruler being the other one. Glistas that I really saw the team being able to play effectively around. It was, hey, we want to get control of our bot, lean in towards the dragon, start stacking them, continue fighting with this aggressive Kalista at the moment.
これグレイブス渋買うのかな、もしかして。
Got that dragon stacking down, and if they can continue to keep this pressure up and play around Elk, and this bot lane is shown as making his way down here, it sets up perfectly for level 6 hit. Are we looking at a potential something on this bottom side?
Elk's doing a good job trading with these Pierces on the Kalista, making sure that the Ashe and the Varus are not the same oppressive power here in this bottom lane that Elk and On were able to subject Light and Crisp.
そうですね、シグはちょっとナーフされすぎましたが、ストームレイザーでしょう。強いですからね、あのアイテム。
Makes a lot of sense as just kind of a tech option here on the Kalista. You're not really going to get to trade autos with these guys very often, so it is just going to be about throwing out those Qs, trying to get that poke down. On, of course, is going to be maxing Q as well on the Caitlyn, as everyone does. And if you can hit those, hey, your poke's not bad.
It makes it very effective as well for trying to clear out the backline creeps. So
ザシャイ、グレープを仕込んでいるので、フルーツを食べてマナも体力も回復していく。
It makes it very difficult then for Light and Crisp to try and play in behind their creeps because eventually you just start to one-shot back creeps with your Q, and it makes it very easy then for you to start hitting those Qs and spears.
And now the Ash Varus, they're 6, but who are you going to engage on? You hit the Caitlyn, going to get Kalista ulted. You hit the Kalista, gonna cleanse, right? So there's not really an easy target down on this bottom side either. They are gonna have that safety, but potential fight here up around the Herald.
Yep, Shun started it up. Wei and the Shy coming in to shut him down. Xiaohu might want to approach this, but you can see a Caitlyn trap already on that ramp. This is the extra power of the Caitlyn to be able to stop your opponents from being able to engage in the fight the way they want to. Elk is up here now as well. BLG's full 5, Weibo's full 5. Keeper's verdict. Looking to make ejections, but Elk with a save on. Wei jumps into the middle.
取ったがホッピー、ヘラルド回収。生きて帰れるか。いや、彼のファーストブラッド取りました。ギリギリ生存です。ケイトのシールで生き残れましたか、あかり。まあ、1キロ渡した代わりにヘラルドを取った。ヘラルドの方がいいんじゃないでしょうか、これは。
Get the pick, but nicely done by BLG to actually respond in kind despite the fact the Rift Herald went over to Weibo.
Yeah, the ejection coming through, and Caitlyn just went to outer space. Caitlyn was gone. I was really confused as to where it was going to end up. Ends up not being that far. Yeah, does get pulled back out from that Kalista ultimate. But at the end of the day, Wei is able to get the kill on the Herald, picks up the eye, procs the phase rush. Those little legs were hustling.
いや、ボットではお互いにアンブラルグレーブを購入しそうですね。そして、エースアップしてます。カリスタ・ケイタがトップレーンにいます。
Still though, BLG need to try and rotate Elkanon down to this dragon. You can see it started up by the Vi at the moment.
エイトロックスが戻ってくるので、ADC たち2人はミッドに行くのかな。それでアカリがボットかな。
We have to look up at the top lane CS.
BLG ドラゴン2体目もゲット。
Nearly a 40, well, over a 40 CS lead now at this point.
オーシャンソウルですね、今回は。
Ridiculously far ahead. And it feels like, again, Bin is in a position where you're kind of wondering how much value are you going to have in this game? He is really in a tough spot, and he's just stacking up those long swords. We'll see if he is going to go in towards a lethality style build.
ストームレイザー完成してます、ザシャイ。これクレードと CS のお金でザシャイだけコアが完成してます。トップのアイテム差がすごいです、今回も。CS 差50近い。そんなことがあるのか。
The other thing is, you're going to have to really identify who is the best target to go for because there's so much DPS in the Weibo composition. When you look over at BLG, yeah, Shun can fly in and pick someone out. Yeah, Yagao can follow up and you're probably going to kill that guy, but at the same time, there is Graves, there's Syndra, there's 280 carries in the top lane. So if you're all focusing down on one target, you might just get deleted by the other 3.
First turret over to Weibo thanks to the Herald being summoned up in the top lane.
トップレーン1800ゴールド差あります。いや、ザシャイ強すぎる、この男。マッチアップとか関係ないぞ。どんなマッチアップでも全部勝ってる。
Against the amount of poke that Weibo has, it's going to work out beautifully for you. So Weibo have to start finding ways to disrupt Elkanon from not just continuously getting this pressure around the map.
Well, and that's why I expect them to now take this lead from the Shy and bring it down to the third dragon. I am expecting them to contest there. We'll see if they do elect to do that because it's a 1k gold lead for Weibo, but the Shy is nearly 2,000 gold ahead, right? So the rest of his team is behind. When you get this sort of a lead, especially when you're investing the Herald up towards topside, you now need to take that and pay it forward. You need to make the investment of this pick, of that objective, really worth it for your team by showing up huge in a team fight.
Serrated Dirt, second item there. Started up for the Shy as he and Wei are going to look for Bin. World Ender as he tries to get away through the smoke. Wave arrives in time to block any more follow-up auto attacks. Long range Astro finds out, but he's quick to the plan, so there's no follow-up from the chains of corruption.
反応遅かったら今バルスのウルトを食らってましたから。
Will be spotted as he hops over on the wall there, but
素早い反応で体力をフルに保っていく。
Punish the fact that well, I was going to say Xiaohu is pushed under his tower, but with how healthy he
いや
is.
トッピーはグレーブスを育てるために一生懸命突破に行ってます。
Ben just
エイトロックスいじめられてる。
punished for that, forced to flash away because the steadfast presence would have
トッ
blocked
プ
the
レ
elbow
ーンだ。
dash. Yagal's rotated up, but it's way too late. The tier 2 turret's already down. Nice moves from Weibo.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Bin was too early, more so than Yagao was too late, because Yagao was making the roam. Bin just
で
kind
も
of
これ
walks
トッ
up
プ
very
を助け
confidently
ると
with
いう
no
ことは
ulti.
味方のボッ
Loses
トが
his
苦しむ
flash
という
and
こと
wastes
でもあり
timing
ま
on
す。
the roam, because then Yagao has spent that time for nothing. With Bin that low, he can't go in. There's nothing he can do there.
And now Yagao's in trouble as he's going to force away from this turret as the shot says, hey, I'm going to do the exact same.
育ったザシャイがミッドに降りてきてタワーを削っていく。
Tries to hover mid, can't really cover the play, doesn't get the play on bot side, and now resets as Yagao needs him in mid lane as well. So a lot of these plays being fumbled by BLG and Weibo capitalizing well.
Weibo are just putting such an emphasis on stacking as much gold as humanly
カニ食べて
possible.
94ゴール
And
ド
we
ゲ
have
ッ
to
ト。
see, is
う
it
め
going
え。
to be investment now towards this dragon? Because that next dragon is going to be
いや
up in
トップ
120.
2400
Look
ゴール
at
ド
the
差。
lane economy snapshot. 2400
これ
gold
トップ
basically up
だ
in
け
that
の
top lane is enormous.
有利でボットの不利が帳消しになるぐらいゴール差ついてますよ。
As well, which I think is super smart because you are not the target and you're not the one that matters at all in this game. It's Weiwei and 4 carries. So you just want to basically stand in the backline, pop the locket, hope that they survive, and can peel for each other with damage.
Elk flashing out of the way of the enchanted crystal arrow. Remember, he already used the cleanse on the last one, so this time he had to use the flash instead, but he escapes the engage and keeps his life.
And the steadfast presence as well there to make sure that he couldn't hop away from the ultimate, so has to burn his flash. Now with 20 seconds on towards Rift Tower, 40 seconds on towards Dragon, that's a major summoner spell that's down for the BLG AD carry.
Exactly, and you have to make that decision. Are you willing to actually fight this without that summoner on Elk? Are you still confident that you can be able to take it? Because Bin is not going to be very useful. Look at his itemization. He's basically got nothing. The Shy
これ
is
チェン
nearly
ド
on
リンだけ
2 full
ダスクブレー
items,
ド。
and Bin doesn't even have as
ダ
much
スク
of
ブレ
his
ードじゃ
second
ないや。
item. Rather, excuse me, he doesn't have as much of his first item as the Shy has.
アン
as
ブ
his
ラル
second.
か。アンブラルグレーブ完成してます。
Massive gold gap there in the top lane. Bin's gonna have a long journey to a point of being useful in this game number 3 as well. Again,
そうですね。
game
こ
number
の
2, he had a couple of big plays.
マークスマンサポート同士だとレーンで有利取った方が
Distracting the
先
enemy
に
team while the rest of the
アンブラ
squad
ル
took
完
Elder.
成して
But his early games, his lane phases
ワード掃
have
除し
been
ながら
rough.
さらにお金を
The thing
稼い
is,
で
though,
い
you
く。
don't really have control here
ゾ
for
ンビワード
BLG.
で
You
視
wanna
界も
push
取れ
side,
る。
but Weibo already effectively responding. The Shy is soloing now Rift Herald as Weibo are going to slowly start to move in here and see if they can use the
ケイ
poke.
トリンのトラッ
They
プ
don't
で
have
デ
any
ィギ
big
ル入ってくる方向を限定しました。
As the Drake is started up, Elk with a
シ
save,
ンドラ
making sure
シ
that
ンドラのウル
unleashed
トから
power
ケイトリンを
cannot
守
kill
ってい
off
く
the
カリス
Caitlyn.
タ
Weibo know that they would be 4v5 in
優
this.
しいで
The
す
Shy
な。
is their strongest dude, and he's on the other side of the rift, so this should be Drake traded away for Herald. Weibo again.
ドラゴンを
continuing
渡
along
す
this
代わりに
line
ミッド
of
タワーを
flood
破
your
壊し
team
ま
with
し
as
た。
much
こ
gold
れ
as you can get.
こ
Using
れ
the Rift Herald
ミッドに
immediately
戻れないぞ
wanted to crack the tier
BLG
one turret, but BLG is stepping up. The tier one's
ミッ
gonna
ドに
fall.
戻らせないようにしてますウェイボ戻れないのでファイト開始ウルト中のエンキボックスが飛ばされてしまった
as Weibo try to regroup, and it's BLG not getting anything. Piercing arrow flies out to find Elk in the very back
で
end
も
of the fight.
やられたのは
They
バイだ
tried
け
to punish him, tried to stop him. Elk
セ
nearly
ー
died.
フ
They tried to separate Weibo, but it came back to bite them.
They
You
did.
can see Shun engaged onto the Poppy, thinking, hey, if I can keep this Poppy from getting that steadfast presence,
これ
Yagao
ドラ
can
ゴン
operate in
渡
that
したけど
backline, but instead,
ど
Shun
うだろう
gives
な
his
これ
life,
3
Yagao
体目だ
can't
け
get
ど
the damage off, and Weibo were able to turn it
まあ
around.
どっちに
But
し
at
ろ
the
ド
same
ラゴンは
time,
取れないから
Yagao solo forced both flash from Chris
ミッ
and
ドレーン破
Xiao,
壊
so
して
was able to get
1
some
キ
of
ル
those
取った
summoners down, and does show that he does still have that threat on the back line. But I'm really
でもこれ
surprised
結
that they
局
elected
ト
to
ッ
just
プ
go
レ
trade
ーナー
for
が勝って
Herald,
て
because
も
now you're one mistake
ド
away
ラゴン
from
取る
getting
ところ
over
まではい
Soul,
け
and
な
I
い
think
からやっ
their
ぱり
advantage
ボッ
doesn't
ト
matter
が
at
勝
all,
たない
right?
と
So I do think that this was
ゲ
potentially
ーム
a
に勝てないんじゃないのか
misplay
B ゴブレジェンズ
from
というゲー
Weibo,
ム
but
は
at the end of the day, it's just going to matter. Can they actually make it happen? Weiwei does get the knock on the wall there against Shun. They're able to burst him down, but you can see Yagao is causing chaos in that back line, and now we're just setting up for this massive fight around the Ocean Soul, because if you give over Ocean Soul, you're only 2k ahead. It is worth way more than that. Even the individual stats from the 3 dragons is worth about that much, and you are so poke heavy that I
グ
feel
レ
like
ーム
your
ス
comp is
赤
gonna
月
kind of
ス
cease
ト
to
ームレイザ
function
ー
if you
通
give
行
up.
です
I do think, though, the difference now is that the Shy is
あ、マイムシさん
absolutely
こんばんはです
monstrous.
どうも
2,500 gold again.
ワールズ準決勝の3試合目です。ザシャイナ全部壊してくれました。タワーとチャンピオン全部。ザシャイナ強すぎるのとボットレーンのメタがちょっとおかしな方向に行ってますな。あかりが潜伏してるけどちょっといけないぞ。アッシュのウルトはかわしていく。ポッキーがいるときは、ポッピーとグレーブスがいるときはボディブロックしてもらえるから、ケイトリンのウルトはそんなに怖くないぞ。割れるか。タワー割れるギリギリのところをポッピー狙っていく。お互いジャングルアーがディスしてタワー取ったのはレインボーです。これレインボーはどうにかドラゴン取りたいけどな。それかもうオーシャンドラゴン渡してエルダーで頑張るのか。ボットが有利取れてるからドラゴン3体取れましたよ。
Because you are full physical on the other side. Yes, there's a Kali, but a Kali cannot realistically ever win a fight where you're hitting the Poppy. Like, it's just not going to happen, right? So the only people that are going to be hitting you are physical damage. And as long as Weiwei is keeping that gold accelerated, it's going to be tough for them to answer. Shun is
ここですね。タワーがあと割れるギリギリのところで仕掛けていく。意識が一瞬タワーの方に行った瞬間入っていきましたけれども、1-1トレードですね。
Alongside the rest of, forcing the rest of BLG back, and I think now you're in a position where coming out of this, Yagao using his TP to the top side, I think was a bit of a mistake. I think you kind of needed BLG to have Yagao with the opportunity to try and play for side lanes, because you've now got Xiao who has TP, the Shy has TP, Dragons in 50 seconds, and you can send both of these guys off to side lanes to make sure that you're in an uncomfortable position as BLG to try and contest the Dragon.
Weibo has slowly been climbing up this gold lead a little bit more here and there. 2,500 gold overall as a team right now, but this Drake is so huge. They need to stop this. The power of the Shy in this fight will be critical. You can see he doesn't have the third fully completed item here just yet. Shun with a quick little bit of a trade onto Weiwei, but it's BLG with control.
ドラゴンそろそろ湧きますよ。オーシャンソードをかけたバトル始まります。
Because of the fact that you have Caitlyn, you want to be there first. You want to set up the traps and give yourself the best possible chance here on this. Yagao going in here after Shy, but the Shy gets away.
But still, nice little bit of chunk. You know, they got a little bit of damage on Weiwei, a little bit of damage on Light. Now they get a bit of chunk there onto Shy. Luckily, he was able to pick up some honey fruit, which is really nice on this Ocean Rift to try to heal back up because doesn't have that much sustain in the kit. But now BLG starting this up.
これグレーブスがすごい強いですけど、今のところ集団戦で活躍させてもらえてないですね。
Caitlyn traps have been placed down, but Weiwei's always going to be the guy eating the cupcake. Ocean Drake
赤いとグレーブスが2連敗している。グレーブスの体力がバイが死ぬ。大死亡。これドラゴン取れません。スマイトないから。とりあえずドラゴンはポッキーがスマイトで取っていく。ケイトでうまくポッキーから逃れることに成功した。ザシャイ強すぎ。あかり死亡。これバロンです。
meant that Weiwei could cover the front line. They pick off Shun in the pit, and now they might just get the Baron on top of it.
I think they're going to get the Baron for sure. Shun is still dead, just now respawning. They're going to run right out, but this is going to go down pretty quick. We'll see if BLG can get here in time.
ショットガンで撃たれたら人は死にます。ずるいですよ。イントロックさん当たり前だよな。これバイが死んじゃってドラゴン取れなくなっちゃった。あかりがかなりグレーブスの体力削ったんですけど、おや また戦闘が起きてますよ。ケイトリンを助けることに成功。でもケイトもカリスタも体力ありません。アッシュのウルトがヒットし、いやー、これ逃げられないですね。逃げられません。
Absolutely dominating this game here on the Graves.
And there's just nothing standing between them and the base now. Weibo pushing down mid.
いやー、オーシャンソウルリーチだったんですけど、 BLG ここでトップレーンの負債が一気に襲いかかってきます。グレイブスダメージ強すぎなんですわ。
After losing that soul that felt so imperative for them being able to stay in this game.
I mean, this has been
トップレーン3000ゴールド、4000ゴールド差あります。いや、これ結構ウェイボーが有利ですよ。オーシャンソウル取られなかったので。黒田もワードを同じ場所に置いちゃうのはよくあります。あかりが裏から来た。エイトロックス頑張ってる。あれでもザシャイが生きてますよ。ボットラインの2人を犠牲に。ウェイボー勝利です。いやー、ケイトリンサポートとアカリだけじゃウェーブ処理できないよ。スーパーミニオンも来てます。集団戦いろいろありすぎて全部終えないぞ。あかりが裏から入っていったんですわ。ポッピーのダブルでもバイは止まりません。アンストッパブルなのでバイやバルスを捉えることに成功。グレーブスがカリスタを、そしてバイを刈り取っていきます。
The Xiao who scattered the weak there to stop Bin from being able to get that last little sliver of HP on the Poppy and keep Weiwei alive. It's an 8,000 gold lead. It's total control over the Rift for Weibo. They're in a great spot to secure the win here in Game 3.
Man, I have no idea what the meta is anymore, and I'm all for it. This is such a sick series to get to see everything coming to a culmination, to see exactly which one of these LPL teams will move forward into finals, and they are not leaving anything behind. The fact that now you've got the Shy controlling on this top side, he's going to be able to keep pushing in, put the pressure there.
ザシャイナイトリッチまで購入してる。
Start to look towards separating, going forward on that bot side, but I think that could be a bit dangerous just because the Shy is so much.
これでまあバイのウルトから身を守るっていうことなのかな、多分。
Absolutely ridiculous. He is completely destroying Bin in all 3 games. BLG really need Bin to be able to step up and start having a better series. I think if they're
次のドラゴンが来ます。オーシャンドラゴン。再びオーシャンソウルをかけた戦い。グレーブスがゆっくり近づいてます。合流してますよ。
Maybe you can try to hold on, but it's so difficult from this far behind. Weiwei on the Poppy, the mega tank there in the front line. You already said it earlier, Azael. You can really only hurt him with the Akali when he builds like this, but that's not going to be a viable plan. Again, they have to try to keep it so difficult when the power of Weibo is so far past what they've got. BLG forced back into their own jungle, control over the bot side river for Weibo, control over the Drake for Weibo. Yagawan on trying to come in as Shun's going to be stopped. The steadfast presence, they knock him right back.
エイトロックスフラッシュインしたけど外し死亡。カリスタのフラッシュです。クレンズもない。ちょっと追いつけないか。いやー、彼が頑張ったけどダメージ足らず。相手みんな必死です。ザシャイトラップ踏んだけど関係なし。
Three different marksmen, one frontliner, and a
あいやー。
absolute obliteration of BLG.
ザシャイ強すぎん。なんじゃこれ。ジジン。
What a performance from Weibo.
いや、ビンが完全に格付けされてます。トップレーンボコボコです。そんなの見たことないぞ。ザシャイでソードのバトルしか見たことないぞ。ここまで差がつくのは。
In the World Finals, it is incredible to watch how well the Shy is playing.
準決勝同士のソロレーナー。ソロレーナー同士でここまで差がつくか。
The Shy is just making it look easy.